know it's only Wednesday, but how is this week gone?
You know, we did a little something different on Monday. Usually Mondays we just lift, you know, then we have meetings, and then, you know, do a little walkthrough, and then we're kind of done. But, you know, Monday we lifted, had our meetings. After meetings, we went out and conditioned. You know, like back in the old days when when I was playing, we'd go out and do a 10 to 20 minute run, just depending on how Coach Burrows felt, you know, that day. So we did about a 12-minute, you know, jog, stride, just to kind of mix it up a little bit, and just kind of try to get their attention a little bit more than what we have. But, you know, yesterday's practice was really good. Kids came in, they were focused, they were locked in. They know there's still a lot left in this season, and you know, they're a good group of kids. We just gotta, you know, put a few things together, and, you know, we win those ball games. You know, look at a total of 15 points or 18 points between the last of the 3 losses, and, you know, that's only 6 points a game. If we make a couple plays here or there, you know, we could be sitting here at 6-0. So there's still a lot to play for. You know, playoffs are probably out of the picture, but, you know, if there are bowl games this year, you know, then that'd be an opportunity for us to, you know, to keep playing as well. So we just need to finish strong and finish out, and you know, keep looking forward and moving forward and getting better.
Does the 3-3, because of being 15 points, is it harder to swallow than if it would have been by 2 touchdowns each game, or does the score matter?
I'd rather just go out and get my tail whooped, you know, than lose, you know, these close games in situations where you look and you see it, you know, on film. If we just make a few plays, you know, we win those ball games. I think that's what hurts the most. You know, we got ourselves in situations to win games, but we just can't find a way to put them away. You know, if we would have played every game like the fourth quarter of the Kearney game, I mean, we would definitely be sitting here 6-0 right now. But we just can't seem to put it together. You know, it's some drop passes, or, you know, maybe break down in protection, or maybe not see the right hole, you know, as a running back, you know, and we're getting first downs, or we're scoring touchdowns, and then defensively, you know, giving up big plays, or, you know, loose contain and quarterback scrambles, or missing a tackle here and there, you know, and they don't score points. So it's just, you know, and we do have some young guys playing, you know, which by this point, you know, they need to quit playing like young guys and play like veterans. But, you know, we're still in that thing. We're just making some mistakes, and we just got to clean those things up. But, you know, I'd much rather, you know, just get whooped, you know, than lose a close one.
Kind of touch on, can you attribute, I mean, to why that is? I mean, I know you've talked about mixing up practice and how you practice in the week.
I don't know. I mean, you just look, and, you know, when you're watching film, and, you know, as a coaching staff, we talked about it this week. You know, we got 11 guys on the field, but sometimes when you watch us play, you know, maybe 9 guys are playing, or 8 guys are playing, or maybe 10, and it's always that one guy that hurts you in that play, and it costs you. So we just got to get these guys to be focused for 4 quarters. You know, I'm sitting there thinking sometimes do we just make these 30-minute games so they can stay a little bit more focused. But I don't know if they just lose the focus, or what it is, or sometimes they just don't believe themselves and don't have that confidence yet when we know they're very talented kids and can get the job done. I mean, I'm still trying to figure it out, and you know, when I do, I'll let you know. But I think, you know, we have the kids. You know, I think we're a very talented group. We just got to keep putting it all together, and hopefully that comes here now.
As far as coaching decisions during the course of a game, after it's all over, do you find it tough to put it behind you, or is it easier to put it behind you? Like, for instance, like, was it 4th and 1? Should I go for it, or should I kick the field goal? Do you go through your mind over and over afterwards, or are you able to put it behind you?
It's every game, even the good plays, you know, you think about it as well. You know, was that the right call? You know, it turned out being the way we wanted it. Was that the right call at that time? And, you know, you do look at some of the calls, and, you know, maybe should I have gone for it or not. But, you know, like when I told our kids, you know, it was 3rd and 1, you know, and we didn't get it on 3rd and 1. It's kind of hard for a coach to say, okay, ball's on our side of the field, it's 4th and 1, let's go for it. Because if we get stoned and don't get it, you know, they got a short field, and, you know, an opportunity to score and change the field position as well if they do punt. So it's, you know, it goes just off of, you know, feel, you know, most of it, you know, not getting the field goal blocked, you know, in that game, it would have been a huge, you know, part of it. And, you know, is there time for a fake with a punt or something like that, you know, but it's just, you always look back and maybe we didn't do something right, or we did do something right, or maybe we should have called this in this situation. But I mean, that's every football game, you know, and even if the ones you win, you know, you still do the same things. Maybe we should have done this in this situation. But, you know, win or lose, you always look back and figure out what you can do better as a coach, and how you can work on things and do things just a little bit better. But I mean, it's win or lose, you're going to ask yourself those questions.
Is part of what we're seeing is for so many years, Fort Hays State was trying to climb the ladder. Is it the situation of it's harder to stay at the top than get to the top sometimes?
I think so, because like when I was 10 years ago when I was here, we were if we would have been 3-3 at this point right now, we would have been happy and excited, and man, here we go, we're getting this thing turned around. But at that time, if it was Fort Hays State, everybody wanted to play Fort Hays, and now you get to the top, everybody wants to beat you, so now you're going to get everybody's best, week in and week out. So, it is, and that's why I try to explain to these kids, when you get to the top, you almost have to work harder, than you did before. You got to prepare even more than you did before as well, and just all the little things that you do have to be better. To be great and to stay great, you got to do everything better every single day, and I just don't know if we've done that yet. I still don't think we've got some kids that are completely bought into what we're doing, offensively, defensively, or even just, practice-wise, or weight room, or film study, or, learning their plays. But, once they do that, then we can be really good. But it's hard to stay at the top. Alabama's done it for years. They're able to reload and reload and reload, but they got a lot of guys pushing one another where, some of our positions, we don't have the depth those D1s have. So a guy's got a spot, and the guy behind him might not be as good, so he doesn't feel like that there's a threat of somebody taking his spot. So sometimes it comes down to the competition as well. But I'll tell kids, it doesn't matter if you're a walk-on kid or the first-string kid. You need to compete for that spot every single day and try to become the starter and not just the backup. Don't be satisfied with just being a backup. Go beat that guy out, and by doing that makes our team better.
So do you look at a Northwest Missouri State who has been for so long, just to not to emulate, but what they do, making it even that much more impressive?
Yeah, you do. I talk to Coach Wright a lot, about the things that he does and how he does things, and the amount of kids that he has on his team, and scholarship dollars and those things. And sometimes they get kids a little bit cheaper, equivalency wise than we do. So equivalencies only go so far, and sometimes we got to pay a little bit extra to get a kid, to come out to Hays as well. But we do try to emulate some of the stuff that they do, and figure out some of the things that just figure out how they're actually doing it. And sometimes it comes down to an arms race as well with what they have and what we have. And I'm not saying that our facilities aren't great. I love our facilities. There's just some things that we need to upgrade to try to stay on track with everybody else so we can continue doing this.
You guys had 6 sacks Saturday. Is that an encouraging sign from the D-line? Because I know that was a question mark going in with some inexperience, but are they starting to maybe play the way you'd hope they would?
I hope so, and I mean, that was a good start, and hopefully they continue to build off of that and get better, because sometimes, when that happens, you kind of get a big head and think you're pretty darn good, and, you kind of slip away a little bit, but that just needs to be the start. We need to get that kind of pressure on our quarterback, every single week, and, even be able to stop the run game, every single week with that kind of dominance. But I hope that's the start. I mean, I thought they played pretty well, up to this point as well. But I thought Saturday was a very good performance by them. I mean, still mistakes that need to be corrected, and still getting guys to play hard every single play. And we still got to figure that out as well.
Deshaun Waiters seems to always have a big role offensively. Is that something you maybe look to expand as the season goes?
Every week we do. We add a little bit more and more. He runs our whole offense anyway. Means he can. I mean, he can do the same things Chance does, and he knows the plays just like Chance does as well. But we do have certain plays just for him as well, and each week we add a little bit more to that, because it's hard to have really two different offenses. Just when talk about blocking schemes and things like that it just becomes too much for the kids to learn in 1 week's time. So you just add a little bit each week, maybe 1 or 2 plays each week to the Waiters package, I guess is what we can call it. And but he does a great job when he gets in there. He gets positive yards every single time, and he continues to work and strive and get better every day. But I always know that I know he's going to come to work every single day, no matter what the situation is.
This week, what do you see that they do offensively, defensively, that is a concern that we have to focus on?
Defensively, that's something we really haven't seen a lot this year is they play a lot of man coverage. Sometimes they'll play man on the outside, and they'll double the inside receivers, with the 2 safeties and the 2 outside linebackers. Their defensive line is very active. They move well, kind of a little different of a defensive front than we've really seen all year, but it's pretty similar to our front, just a little bit. But they're active. They fly around to the ball, defensively, and that's the things we're going to be aware of is, the man coverage. Is it a bracket coverage? Is it man coverage? Is it cover one where they have a couple guys free, as well. So those are things that we're going to figure out. And they do play a little bit of, cover two as well to just kind of keep you honest here and there in third and long situations. Then offensively, they've been kind of doing a 2-quarterback system. They started with one guy at the beginning of the season, and the second guy came in against Northwest. Now they kind of been trading them guys off and on. So, one's more of a run guy, one's more of a pass guy. So, got 2 running backs that are pretty tough. O-line's, big and move well. They got some pretty decent receivers and a big tight end. So, we're just going to be, sharp, understand what they're going to do in certain situations, and, defensively kind of know by formation what they're doing to us, and be solid in our coverage and be able to stop the run. And offensively, just understand the coverage. And, they don't blitz a lot, and they haven't yet in a game, but you never know. This might be one of these games that they just bring a lot of pressure, so we got to be prepared for that as well.
When you face 2 quarterbacks like that and one primarily always runs, is it hard not to get lulled into, okay, he's going to run and get beat by the pass?
It is, hey, this is the running quarterback, and then you just kind of lose focus. Hey, we're going to stop the run, and all of a sudden they have a little slip guy out, slip a receiver out somewhere and get beat. So it's all about discipline, making sure no matter who's in the game, you're doing your job and you're doing it to the best of your ability, and you're disciplined with your eyes and your feet and seeing and reading all your keys. If we do those things, we'll be fine. But if we get lazy with our eyes and not really paying attention, it's not staying focused, it's going to cost us.
With 8 games or whatever it is remaining on your schedule, I guess not 8, but when you start looking at the remaining of the games, how much of what happens in these next games has weighing on what happens in the off season and into next year for your staff and your team?
I mean, we just kind of look at this season right now, and we always, from the start, figure out, okay, what are our needs, from the get-go. I know we got some kids on our team that can play really well, but when it goes down to recruiting-wise, and, you look at, we've already kind of got a sheet together of what we need, next year. And then what the big question is, some of these juniors that we have right now, they are going to graduate, and are they going to come back? Are they going to be done and go work? And so that's always kind of a question you're in the back of your head right now, and it's conversations that you have with them as well. I hope they come back, because I think they could really help us, next year, especially with the talent that's in that group, in that class. But then also looks in the off season. What do we got to do better in the off season? Just skill wise. Thing I think we need to work on is our hands and our feet, and being more explosive. When we're on contact. Maybe a little bit more knowledge of the game. I thought we had it pretty much sealed deal, that we knew exactly what we're doing and understanding the game of football. I don't know how much football these kids really played when they were little. When we were young, we went out in the backyard and played a lot, and we became I guess we could say we became pretty athletic by just playing that, right? But you learned how to run through people. You knew how to put your hands on people. You knew how to make a cut, all those different things. And your body was just trained differently when we were younger. Now it's just, it seems like all we do is it's got to be in the weight room, or it's got to be on the field, or sometimes we just got to get out and play, and that's what makes you a better football player. So I think just us playing more, doing more things with our kids is going to make us better.